going to do a continuous contour drawing. The intention of these exercises isn't to do a realistic portrayal of your subject, but just to, start to get comfortable with the pen on paper. You could probably tell I don't always start in the same position, but I probably am starting here again. I'm drawn to the hair right away because there's just a little bit of a flow that's happening there. And now going back. And really just kind of focusing on the shapes that I'm seeing. And maybe when you're watching this, you're noticing something that I'm doing, and you'll watch it again, or you'll do the exercise again and you'll pick something else up. It's fun because you don't really know what it's going to end up looking like. And I think because I've done these exercises a lot, I kind of take liberties to just go and know that this isn't what looks exact like the image that I'm looking at, but maybe something that feels a little more fun and interesting. See, there's a little bit of a shadow here, so I'm gonna play into that and exaggerate it. And maybe for this one, even there's a shadow here. Maybe I'll play into that. Maybe I'll add her hand this time a little bit, just to do something different. Okay, now I'm gonna do my signature. I brought it up that time.
Now we are going to do a self-portrait with our less dominant hand. And I'm going to use my photo booth camera on my laptop. Using a mirror, using your phone's FaceTime camera are all great, whatever you feel more comfortable with. The one thing that I would suggest is don't use a photo of yourself. I think that drawing from a live reflection of you is going to be a bit more interesting than having to render a photo. Let's begin. So, self-portrait can be kind of scary because you're I want this to look awesome because it's a reflection of me by me, but it's not supposed to do that. The idea is you're using your less dominant hand, you're just trying to put it all on the paper. And the idea is to just kind of have fun with it. Also feel free to play with where your hand lives on the pen. Really close sometimes makes you really tighten up and use your wrist. If you want to kind of keep yourself loose, try to use the back of the pen. It's also important to remember, you're probably starting to get to the point now where you're overanalyzing what this looks like. Don't. Just have fun. Allow your hand to just kind of figure out how to use the pen in a way that it's not used to using, and just put things on the paper. Also feel free to switch up colors if you want. So I'm going to switch to adding a color. You could stick with the same exact utensil if that's what you're feeling you're starting to get into it. Or if you feel I've kind of hit my stopping point with this particular color, switch it up. There are no wrong answers when making a self-portrait, especially with your less dominant hand.
For this project, you're going to start with a light color. I'm going to be using these Posca markers that are acrylic paint in a marker. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to start kind of with these sort of bean shapes, and I'm going to fill them in. And so that you don't get exhausted, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit here. So maybe go ahead and drink a lot of coffee so you can draw as quickly as I'm drawing here in this video. But I'm just drawing some random shapes, and this is why they're called blob monsters, because we're starting with these blob shapes here. And maybe you want to vary it a little bit. That's up to you. So I'm going to draw some varied shapes. And now for this next part, I'm going to use a Tombow brush pen. These work really well over top of Posca paint. And then I'm just going to start drawing. And on these, since they're monsters, I'm going to draw some eyes. Maybe you want to draw some antennae or mouths. Maybe you start drawing in some weird legs, but you're just not overthinking it. And the whole point of this exercise is to just draw. For this one, I'm going to use the outline all the way around that filled shape, turn it into some like little furry little caterpillar looking thing. There's some tusks. These are some bug tusks. Now, one time while I was doing this, and I was just drawing for my own, sketchbook time, I was working on a book at the same time, and I had to come up with a character for that book. And I actually came up with a character while I was working in this way, because I wasn't just sitting and thinking, I was actually drawing. And really, for me, keeping a sketchbook, one of the biggest things that I could kind of push you to do is, if you're drawing every day, you're much more likely to just come up with little random bits of ideas and things that you might want to use later, way more so than if you're just kind of always thinking about what you want to be working on. So if I can't think of something to draw, or if I don't have anything in particular to draw that day, I will start with an exercise like this that just kind of helps my pen start moving.
When you're alone trying to get better at drawing, it's easier when you find something, it's always there, and then practice it. It doesn't take long, so it's always there. Then we will start from this side first, and we're not gonna take too long. Let's try and draw almost the actual size. And hands are fun because there are a lot of creases and weird, like they look straight, but they're not, and there are nails, and my fingers are not straight. So let's try not just draw the outline, but really get into the details of your hand. You might have scars, you might have beauty mark, you might wear a cool ring, you might have tattoos, and let's draw all that. I think I'm done. It's fun because it's like drawing portrait. My hand and Tatiana's hand look very different, and that really shows in these drawings.
Giving yourself a time limit for a drawing is a great way to encourage confidence and a spirit of just letting go and going for it. Drawing quickly also forces us to make some decisions about the object, which parts to include and which can be left out. We're going to have 60 seconds for this, so make sure that you're choosing a size to draw at and a tool to draw with that feel appropriate for you to be able to draw quite quickly. And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh. Okay, so that's my 1 minute drawing. So we're going to go straight away into our 30-second drawing. So it's worth just thinking about how that went. How was it drawing that quickly? And thinking about what changes you might need to make to draw the same thing but in half the time. I actually found it quite hard to start with the laces, which is what I was trying to do. I think I'm naturally drawing things in a similar order when I draw this object. So I found that quite hard. I think I'm going to struggle to do enough detail in the laces in 30 seconds. So what I might do is something that I picked up from my drawing with a thicker pen, and I'll just use single strokes to show the laces rather than trying to draw the outline of it, and see if that helps me to speed things up. Grab a fresh sheet of paper, get everything ready, and we're going to start straight away. Okay, that's all I managed to get, but you can tell what it is, which for 30 seconds is not too bad. I didn't expect that I'd get the whole thing drawn. In my drawings, I actually feel as though the quicker drawings of 15 seconds and 30 seconds are more effective than the 1 minute drawing. I think for me, the way that I was drawing with a lot of pace, and I almost think that 1 minute was too much. I think I added too much detail in that time. I actually much prefer my 30-second and my 15-second drawings, which I think just have much more fluidity and movement and energy to them.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest videos.